Whether you have a sports team, company, or charitable event and need custom t-shirts, hats, sweaters, or hoodies, ShopTotallyT-shirt.com can help. ShopTotallyT-shirt.com is the best in high-quality items at great affordable prices and top-notch customer service. ShopTotallyT-shirt.com. ShopTotallyT-shirt.com. One more time, ShopTotallyT-shirt.com.
Check out DoBack.com. DoBack.com is a coupon and cashback site that has you covered with unbeatable deals. Upgrade your tech game without breaking the bank. Get access to exclusive deals and cashback offers on the latest gadgets and discounted tech. Calling all sports and music fans, score big with deals and cashback offers on the NFL, NHL, and NCAA tickets, as well as upcoming concerts by legendary artists like Def Leppard, Journey, Foo Fighters, Nicki Minaj. Don't miss out on your chance to experience the excitement live with help from DoBack.com. Still searching for that last-minute gift? DoBack.com has you covered. Find amazing deals with cashback offers on gifts for him, for her, or even the kids. Don't wait. Grab the perfect presents right now. Get ready to save and save big and enjoy the ultimate shopping experience. Don't miss out on these incredible deals and cashback offers. Start shopping right now. DoBack.com. That's DoBack.com. One more time, DoBack.com.
Get your website and software ERP services done right with ModernTech.co, where 100% satisfaction is guaranteed. ModernTech.co, the best place for mobile applications and web apps. ModernTech.co, where you can get your Android and iOS app done on discounted prices and more. ModernTech.co. Also follow on Facebook at facebook.com/Modern Tech LLC and Instagram at BondTechCo.
If you're looking for unbeatable deals, all 99 cents or less, check out Mercsaver today. Mercsaver.com. That's spelled MERCSAVER. Mercsaver.com, where free shipping on orders is available when you spend $15. You heard me right. Get free shipping on orders that's $15 or more. Mercsaver.com, 99 cents or less on all items that they have available on their site. It's a veteran-owned business where everything is 99 cents and below. New items are added daily. www.mercsaver.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's up, pretty babies? Covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. You're checking out a new episode of the RCWR Show. Lee Sanders here for this Monday night of March 25th, 2024. Hey, man, how about that All-State Arena edition of Monday Night Raw? Sound off. Let me know what you thought about that episode, man, because that joint, I'm going to say up front, was fire. Get at me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the RCWR Show, youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Click on the communities tab and you can sound off, let your voices be heard, cast your vote as well on this episode. Yo, this was a really solid, star-studded edition of Monday Night Raw, I gotta say. And let's remember, we are now, what is it? Because WrestleMania is going down the weekend of April 6th, right? We are now about less than 2 weeks away from Saturday, from all the festivities. And I tell you what, man, if you would have told me a couple of years ago, like rewind it back, if you would have told me 5 years ago, Hey, Lee, as far as WWE goes, there's going to come a time when WWE is going to excite fans again. Wrestling is going to feel awesome again amongst WWE fans. And oh, by the way, to help make that argument be solidified, we're going to get help from not just Cody Rhodes. We're also going to get help from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But we're also going to get help from CM Punk. I would say to you, wait, what? Like, no. Huh? In 2024? I don't know. I'm having a hard time picturing that, dog. I don't know if that's really going to... And that's exactly what has been going on these past several months. But the way everything just culminated tonight, I dare say to you guys, should tonight have been the WrestleMania Go Home show? Because now you're just looking at what transpired tonight, and you're keeping in mind that Roman Reigns and The Rock are going to be showing up on the WrestleMania Go Home edition of Monday Night Raw next week. And you're just going, well, damn, after everything that had transpired tonight, how do you even top what you did this week? And we still got SmackDown to go, yo. That was just, hey, to my fellow Chicagoans out there, hey, 'cause I'm a Chicago native, man, y'all represented fantastically tonight. I love the energy that you all had brought. Y'all made the show really worthwhile. I enjoyed a lot of the production aspects from WWE this go round, but particularly I love the fact that the first hour and 15 minutes, and I think those that watched the show tonight would definitely be in agreement. The first hour and 15 minutes of tonight's Monday Night Raw had some of the best emotional context mixed in there with strong characters that really made the show fly by. I mean, to have Drew McIntyre, and you also got to put Drew McIntyre into the mix as well. I can't believe I disrespected my man and I didn't put him in there with those lists of names when I was saying, hey, if you would have spoke to me 5 years ago. But if you would have told me that there was going to be a segment involving Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre that was going to be totally edgy, unhinged as I don't know what, and basically it's a case where, okay, this could really go anywhere because we're looking at three of the best here. Drew been finding his groove on the microphone. Punk is just the king of kings, and Seth Rollins, well, he's got a couple of moments in him here and there. But if you would have told me that, look, we're gonna get all three of these guys in the ring and there's gonna be some memorable stuff, I'd have been like, yo, I need to see it to believe it. And that's exactly what we had got as part of that first hour and 15. This was just a all-star studded edition of Raw as far as I was concerned. One of the better executed editions, especially in tying up all the ends as we get ready to go into WrestleMania weekend and everything in a couple of weeks. I mean, this really, really was laid out so damn well. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, be honest with you all selves. How many of you all expected for The Rock to show up during that Cody Rhodes opening segment for tonight's show? Be honest with yourselves. And then I want you to be honest with yourselves, because here's a follow-up to that. How many of you all thought that The Rock was done for tonight? I gotta tell you, to see Rock at the end of the night, I'm going, whoa, that blindsided me. I totally thought that was going to be it for The Rock. We were done. It's all good, right? See Rock maybe on SmackDown. Hell, maybe we'll get him next week. Dudes, Rock has been making more television appearances. He's in the double digits now. I think somebody had put out there he's pushing 10 or 11 TV appearances now. But this man has pushed more TV appearances than freaking Brock Lesnar in recent memory. You just got to look at that and just go, look, obviously this man, kudos to him for doing that, really stepping up. Here's a guy that obviously really cares about the company, cares about the brand. He cares particularly about this road to WrestleMania, trying to do his best to lend a hand and really help drive home WrestleMania and some of these key story arcs and all that. Just freaking badass, man. Freaking badass. So Cody comes on out there. He's kicking off the show and everything. And he's basically following up from the events that went down on SmackDown. Shout out if you guys had watched SmackDown. I know I watched it in its entirety. Cody went there into a gunfight thinking it was just going to be a one-on-one ordeal. But then Roman Reigns decided, nah, dog, I lied. I lied when I said I wanted to talk to you one-on-one, man-to-man. But Cody, being a very smart man, fool me once, shame on you. He came prepared this go round as he brought with him a little bit of help from Jey Uso, and also Seth Rollins. So that kind of balanced itself out and everything. So nice little stuff right there. Talks about Roman Reigns, says that, hey, Roman, I get it, man. You say that Cody Rhodes has been making promises he cannot keep. And he admits that hurt him a little bit when he heard that, but because he's one of those type of people that tries to do his best to keep his promises. Cody Rhodes, that is. And he goes into some really great stories about how there was this one guy that wanted to know if he would be the best man at his wedding. And he's like, yeah, sure. What the hell? And Brandy is like, who is da da da? And he's like, well, honey, he's this guy. And I said that I was gonna be the best man at his wedding. So I made the guy a promise. So I gotta keep it, right? And then he brings up this little kid. I forgot what happened to the little kid, but I don't know if the little kid wanted tickets to WrestleMania or what, but a little kid named Anthony. And he's basically like, yeah, sure. Okay, kid, we're going to make sure that happens for you, right? I promise we'll make sure it happens for you. And Cody talks about how, yeah, Roman mentioned the fact on the Pat McAfee show about him being a politician, really went heavy on that bad boy last week's SmackDown. And Cody got down to the heart of the matter, which is, the reason why he does all of these things. And he puts the gauntlet down. He says, it's not out of desperation. That's not why he's even doing all of these things. Some could make an argument that he's pretending to be champion. Well, he's doing all of these things because there isn't a champion there, right? Now, there's two ways that you can look at that when you hear that, because on the first rodeo, you hear that statement, right? You go, okay, obviously this is a shot at Roman Reigns. That's the first thing that you're saying to yourself. But then the second part of that, you're going, man, if you're Seth Rollins, what do you say to that? Do you go, okay, hey, I know he's talking about Roman Reigns, so hey, man, it's all good in the neighborhood. Or do you look at that and go, man, way to disretrospect me, yo, because here I am. I've been the fighting champion. I've been the workhorse. I have done my best in busting my ass and making this title be as prestigious as possible. I've done my best to make this championship be the main event, and it just continues to be disrespected by the likes of people such as Cody Rhodes. So there's a couple of interesting ways that, and you can't help but have that in the back of your mind as you get ready to go into WrestleMania weekend. Again, less than 2 weeks, right? But you can't help but have that in the back of your mind, because you're going, man, you know what? Even though you're saying to yourself as a Cody Rhodes fan, as a WWE fan, or just as a wrestling fan, yeah, Cody should get this. You're still having in the back of your mind, there could be a double agent here. Seth could end up going into business for himself, right? He could flip. The Rock could potentially flip on Roman Reigns. Both could happen, or one could just happen, but it's just so many interesting directions creatively that we can go here. And again, we're going to dive into all of that next week when we get ready to go into predictions and everything. But some really good stuff that Cody Rhodes was hitting out of the park and everything. And one of the things that I love so much about Cody Rhodes, I've said it time and time again, Cody Rhodes does such a fantastic job of not just incorporating everybody that's in the arena, but everybody that is watching from home. He does a really good job in connecting to everybody. He's come a long, long way as a character, and that emotional context that I like, emotional connection that I like to bring up here on the show from time to time and everything. The Rock popping up afterwards. Cody looks stunned like a mofo because, look, this wasn't advertised. This wasn't on the manifest. So we've got the big boss himself, the final boss himself, The Rock, coming on out there and everything. Rock keeping this short and simple, y'all. He's just getting into the ring, showing the crowd a little bit of love, soaking it all in and everything. But he's just pretty much standing there across from Cody. What a big size differential between these two guys, by the way. Like, it just really dawned on me when I was watching these guys tonight. I'm going, holy crap. Rock looks like he can just eat this guy up for freaking breakfast, right? Like, this is just a mark out moment. You got the fans chanting, "This is awesome." And then right after that, the fans start chanting CM Punk. Leave it to Pat McAfee going, yeah, he's here too. Let's not forget about that, folks. Yeah, we got CM Punk tonight. This was really freaking all hands, all star, loaded up edition. I love this. I love this. And this was just within the first 20 minutes for the show. This was great. Rock didn't say anything to Cody, or so we thought, but he did get real close up to him. Whatever he said to him, we couldn't hear it. It was an inaudible. And he just has this mischievous grin on his face as he rolls out. Of course, now the $1 million question is, what exactly was said to Cody from The Rock? Well, cameras would catch up to Cody. And the only thing that Cody would say is, it's a promise he can't keep. That was it. It's a promise that he can't keep. So do you suppose what Rock had said to him earlier was, I'm going to beat that ass and I will wipe your blood on my belt that I'm going to give to your mama? Do you suppose it was something along those lines? Because when you think about how Raw ended, I know we're kind of going a little bit all over the place, but we got a nice groove, and it's like we might as well just segue into, right, while we're talking about these specific characters, right? But you look at that great brawl that went down between The Rock and Cody Rhodes to close out Monday Night Raw. I freaking love that. Just the fact that it was raining too, that made it even more worthwhile, because I don't know, there's just something about, call me a sucker or whatever, but there's just something about when you're doing some type of a brawl outside, but you're dealing with the natural environment as it is, because that is just a playground in itself that you can have so much fun with creatively, right? And the fact that it was raining, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And you've got The Rock right on cue. As soon as he sends Cody Rhodes out there on the loading dock with the rest of the tour buses and everything, right? You got freaking Cody Rhodes' nightmare bus. And remember, Cody is now getting into the whole alcohol business, and The Rock giving Cody that cheap plug right then and there while he's continuing to whip his ass. Loved it. All that stuff was freaking good, man. I loved it. And shout out to The Rock for, we're going to talk about it later on, but that report that was floating around, we talked about it here last week too. That report that was floating around about how some folks within WWE talents, a little bit disgruntled, a little bit heartbroken, and what they consider to be a double standard. And we dived into all of that, tackled it from so many angles. And I put the gauntlet down on that when it was all said and done. But The Rock had basically put out a response to the reports that was floating around and everything. And he basically said, yo, this is total BS. Because I guess there was one report that was put out there which said folks had, spoke with The Rock about the language and all of that. And Rock pretty much had shot that down and basically saying, look, if I'm in that moment, whatever I'm feeling, I'm going to always speak from the heart. And you know what? I mentioned all of that because Rock continued to speak from the heart tonight. Boy, I'm just picturing my guys. that are part of the censor team up in the freaking truck or whatever. And I'm just picturing a freaking cigarette, all three of them, four of them, or one just cigarette in the mouth. It's just got that little box and he's just ready to bleep a mother out. Right. I'm just picturing that because The Rock was just cursing his ass off like a freaking sailor. I loved it. Now I am waiting for somebody to upload Raw from their respected country. So whether it be Australia, Canada, I'm waiting for the uncensored version because I want to know what all The Rock was saying because they bleeped him so much. It wasn't just, it was one of those things where it was like, and you're like, what the hell did he just say? I gotta know. So I'm looking forward to the uncensored version of that because that was some hilarious stuff. But Cody whipping or Cody getting his behind whipped by The Rock in the rain. You know, I'm just thinking of that old school song. I don't know if it was the Dramatics, but it's that one song. I want to go outside in the rain. It may seem funny, but I want to go outside. I want to go outside in the rain. Love that song. That's some old school. It's almost kind of part of that Motown realm for you guys, if you know your music right. I don't think it was the Dramatics, though. I don't think it was Dramatics that sung it, but I know I'm in the right ballpark and everything. Whipped that boy so bad, did The Rock, made the Cody bleed around the forehead area. Then from there, took some of that same blood. Turns out he had his belt, The Rock. The Rock had his own belt. He promised he was going to put Cody's blood on that belt. Give it to Cody's mama. I loved it. It was a beautiful beatdown. I loved it, man. One of the best beatdowns I've seen in quite a long time. Especially given the fact that it involved the outdoor environments too. It was beautifully shot. And leave it to The Rock, because The Rock's been in so many films. He has that director's eye, so to speak. I love how Rock is kind of directing the cameraman at certain points. He's like, raise it up there. You know, I love how he's just calling audibles and everything. You know, like he's delivering a freaking Picasso masterpiece there. Great stuff. How is Cody going to rebound from this? Should be interesting to see how it plays out. Whether it's going to happen on SmackDown, I doubt it. I'd be shocked. But whether it happens on SmackDown or more likely it'll go down on the final Raw, Cody getting a little bit of some revenge there. I'm curious to see how Cody is going to rebound because we've seen Cody now in these positions where, okay, Rock is owning him. Cody's coming off like a chump, but then Cody comes right back and he gives it to The Rock, right? It tick for tat. You know, he's been coming out there, and it's been fun watching Cody Rhodes get a little bit of a mean streak, getting a little bit down and dirty, right? And sometimes you got to be that way depending on who the opponent is and everything. So now that we have seen The Rock come out the way that he's come out, now we got to see how Cody is gonna up the ante there. So some really, really good stuff that I had enjoyed, quite honestly. But then wait, we had a little something called a CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins menage a trois. That was just chef's kiss, perfect. Where do I even begin dissecting that whole thing, right? That was just, again, Drew McIntyre, and we went over the Slammy Award categories on last week's show, and one of the categories has something to do with social media, like, you know, who has the best social media game, and I know Drew McIntyre is on the list. I really hope he wins. I sadly don't think he will because he's only been turning it on lately. Like, I would say, would you guys say it's safe to say Drew McIntyre has only been up in his social media game for maybe the past 3, maybe 4 months at most? Whereas the other people that's on that list, they've been added a lot more. So I'd be shocked to see Drew win it. I would like him to win it, but I don't think he will, is my whole point. But Drew has been finding himself big time with his social media game. He has really been doing a better job in flushing his character out. Everything is finally connecting. This is the best Drew McIntyre yet. I'm really, and I've been watching the career of Drew McIntyre ever since he first popped up in the WWE. I seen the stuff that he was doing on the independent, saw the stuff that he was doing with Impact Wrestling and all that, Drew Galloway and all that stuff. But this is the absolute apex. This is him at his absolute finest. And I've been enjoying the work that he's been putting out there and everything. And him and CM Punk, just the back and forth chemistry that those two men have with one another. The stuff that dreams are made of, let me tell you. Drew's social media game today, where he was making fun of Mindy's, talking, he was mad that Mindy's was closed because he heard so much about it and everything. And you just can't help but wonder, did Drew actually just pull up, like not rehearse it and all that? Did he just pull up and, oh, wow, they're closed, and he was just going with the flow there and everything? Because if that all was just one take and it was his reactions in real time, you're just going, that's badass, Drew. That's badass. And he's doing all this in broad daylight while he's pushing his own little mocked up Drew McIntyre Punk inspired shirt and everything. I loved it. It was great stuff. But yes, for those of you that are interested in Mindy's is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Obviously, they are big WWE fans and all that. And, look, the thing with Mindy's, can we just say, for a quick segue here, Mindy's has been getting so much free press that it's unprecedented. I mean, everybody that has been promoting the hell out of Mindy's, from CM Punk and everybody else, like, Mindy's needs to do a video saying, hey, WWE, AEW, like, thank you guys. We really appreciate, really, thank you. You have tripled our business by mentioning us, right? Seriously. I know when the initial stuff had went down involving CM Punk and Mindy's and the initial put over, I remember there was one Chicago trip I was supposed to make for my birthday, and I was supposed to be hanging out with friends and family and everything. Sadly, it didn't happen, but I know one of the things that was talked about was, well, what do you want to do while you're out here? And I said, well, I know I want to go to White Castle. Frozen White Castle, it doesn't beat the actual real thing from the restaurant. Hopefully Drew McIntyre, because I did see his posting earlier today. I said to him, dude, go to White Castle. You'll thank me later. Like, seriously, go to White Castle. But I'm looking at the stuff with Mindy's and all that, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to go to Mindy's. Like, I want to go to Mindy's, but sadly, it didn't happen. But Mindy's has been getting so much damn free press. It's not even funny. I would be shocked to hear, if all the press that Mindy's has gotten these past couple of years, to hear that sales have not doubled or tripled. I'm just going, okay, what are you guys doing wrong here? Like, seriously, like, if you're not making a profit by now, like, maybe you should turn that business around and go in a different direction. You feel where I'm coming from? But Drew, Punk, great stuff. Punk kicking things off, saying, hey, a lot of questions up in the air. Will I be at WrestleMania? Short answer, yes. Will I be wrestling? No, not medically cleared to compete yet. So what does that mean? Will I be doing some commentary? Will I maybe be doing some refereeing? Will I maybe be the host of WrestleMania? If you would have tried to pitch that to me many years ago, being a host of WrestleMania, I would have looked at that and been like, that's beneath me. But now, man, just anything that I can do to be part of WrestleMania weekend, that would just be awesome for me, right? So you got this nice, humbled CM Punk that's out there. You're going, okay, yeah, this is nice. And look, you just knew. Come on, you can't do the All-State Arena, number one. You can't do Chicago, number two, without rolling out CM Punk. Oh, and number four, another sold-out arena for WWE. I had looked up this information earlier because I was curious. Shout out to my boys over there at WrestleTix. They do a great job as always. But WrestleTix had said that tonight's WWE Raw show at the Allstate Arena had surpassed 15,000 tickets. 1,500. No, I said it right. 15,000. 15,000 tickets distributed will be the highest attended Raw since WrestleTix have begun tracking full time, which goes as far back as since 2021. So what happened with the Allstate Arena tonight, y'all, that surpassed last year's Raw at the Wells Fargo Center in PA, which drew an estimated 14,451 distributed tickets, though the announced attendance was much higher. WrestleTix goes on to say that Philadelphia will likely reclaim that spot, with the Raw after this year's WrestleMania expected to surpass that number. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if it surpasses that, but this is now what, the 11th or 12th consecutive WWE show that has sold out. Kudos to WWE. They have been on a freaking roll. They have been on a freaking roll with these sellouts. And you know what? Look, AEW, I see you guys too. I see you. I gotta give you guys some love as well. You guys are doing better with your tickets, selling of tickets and all that. Although I'm not feeling the whole, buy 3 get 5, for free. Buy 1 burger, get 3 tickets free. But look, somehow they're getting it done when it's all said and done. And hey, that's the important thing. You're putting as many asses in the seats as you can. But I mean, to hear that WWE is doing these sold out consecutive shows, and it's all just stringing together week after week after week, and we're now up to like 11 shows that have been sold out. That is a great feature in itself that definitely deserves more bragging rights, because obviously they're doing something right. Obviously, they're actually doing something right. So CM Punk mentioning all of that stuff. And then he starts going down the gambit of names. He mentions Pat McAfee. He goes, yeah, Pat, you had Roman Reigns on your show. Why does Reigns keep bringing me up? Well, he's earned it, but he's had a feeling that him coming back and climbing the mountain with Reigns way back down the mountain, he has a feeling that they pretty much are going to see each other pretty soon. But then CM Punk also takes a little bit of a dig at Pat McAfee. He's like, you got to forgive me. I don't check out your show. I mainly listen to the drive-through and the experience. Here you go, like Jim Cornette plug, like, oh, Jim, that's what's up. And I would imagine if Jim Cornette did not trend after that, or within that, 30-45 minutes, you knew at some point he definitely did trend. I'm just picturing Jim Cornette on the next joint, like Mussolini and Gandhi. Jim with his bad damn vocals. I loved it though. Some people were like, hey, not shocked to hear this. This isn't anything new. Okay. I hate to, because that just sounds like a Debbie Downer when you hear some people say it like that. And I this ain't no dig to anybody in particular, but think about it from this context. This new WWE realm that we're in with Triple H, TKO, and all that stuff. Oh, this happened at a house show? Oh, you best believe we're going to somehow figure out a way naturally to bring that up and everything. Oh, this went down on the Pat McAfee show? Okay, we're going to figure out a way to oh, Sting did his farewell match. Oh, we got to figure out a way to kind of acknowledge that there, right? Now, granted, CM Punk and everything that he was saying out there was some key stuff where you're just going, man, this dude, the most dangerous thing you could do is give this guy a microphone, because there's just no telling what the hell's going to come out of this guy's mouth. Like, literally, I know one of the first things that he did say when he referenced commentary, he said something along the lines of, I know that WWE is going to be doing its thing with Netflix next year and everything. Hey, Netflix, sorry, but, hey, look, one thing I'm really good at is my mouth. I mean, just ask April. She knows what I'm talking about. And you're going, whoa, dude, TMI, like, time out, dude. Like, we don't need to know all of that. Like, come on, man. Right? So, but I loved it. It was good. But it was kind of one of those, ooh, new sensation for my ears. I haven't heard this type of stuff in a good minute. Like, it feels more, okay, we're maturing here. This is great. We're kind of playing up to our audience here. Okay, this is good. I can go with the flow here. I loved it. This was good stuff right here, man. This was good stuff. But the Jim Cornette plug, when it's all said and done, I mean, who hasn't turned on an episode of Monday Night Raw and you've seen a Jim Cornette sign right before it gets confiscated? Because it has gotten confiscated at a WWE show here and there, right? But if you really stop and think about it, have you ever heard a WWE wrestler during a promo plug Jim Cornette? Have you ever? I mean, show me the footage in modern time, since WWE has been a publicly traded company leading up to TKO. Show me some type of footage out there where a wrestler during a promo plugs Jim Cornette. I can't think of anything. I cannot think of not one thing. So the fact that we had somebody out there of the likes of CM Punk saying, and I know there's going to be some people out there that's going to be like, oh, Jim Cornette, he's racist. Jim Cornette is homophobic. Jim Cornette is, okay, so my whole, I'm not even counterpointing this, but okay. Is this information based off of something that you read in a forum? Is this something that you've concluded based on, like where's your proof of this? Because the Jim Cornette that I have seen running around on this show for the past several years, first of all, if he truly was homophobic, if he truly was racist, and if he was XYZ, Brian Last, and we all can admit, those of us that make our rounds listening to other podcasts and everything and showing support for other podcasters, Brian Last would not be lasting this long as Jim's co-host. He would have went and found something else to do by now, work with somebody more, hey, I don't need all that baggage. I don't need that headache. I don't need people coming after me on social media and all that. I know there's some really bad stigmas that's out there and everything. I also am aware that Jim Cornette has this reputation where, unfortunately, whenever he says something bad about AEW, everybody comes out of the woodworks and they are, but they fail to somehow miss that it doesn't matter if it's WWE, AEW, or insert the name. If Jim's watching it, he's going to give the good, the bad, and the ugly regardless. So it was nice to hear CM Punk give that nice little plug. You also know, full disclosure, Jim Cornette, CM Punk, they share the same lawyer in Stephen P. New. I won't go down that whole rabbit hole. That's for you all to look more into on your free time and all that, but full disclosure right there. So that was a nice little thing that went down. I'm sure, definitely everybody was like, oh, he said the name. He said the name. Like, it's going down. Seth Rollins mentions him, talks about how they go way back. They don't see eye to eye, but mostly because he wears heels now, does Seth Rollins. So that that made me pop big time. That was actually pretty funny. Drew McIntyre, he brings him up, talked about how, that's a guy that he has talked about him over and over, like to nausea. And he's going, you notice I haven't said anything about him because I'm the type of person where I like handling my business in the ring. So when you got a problem in Chicago, handle it face to face like a man. Drew McIntyre does come out. By the way, I loved how CM Punk and that microphone, this guy was able to string himself into a really badass position where once he is nice and healed up, he's got 3 opponents waiting to dance with him. 3. Now, I know some of you guys are going, wait a minute, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, who's the 3rd opponent? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because he mentioned him during his damn promo as well. I actually jotted that down. He said something along the lines of somebody that hasn't said anything about me, somebody that's been radio silent, has been The Rock. Maybe that's because 10 years ago, when he came face to face with the Second City Saint, he realized that his arms were too short to box with God. So this is one of those scenarios here where you're going, man, this dude is talking himself into some interesting angles. Like, if you're WWE, you're Triple H them in the back, you're going, damn, like, we wasn't even thinking about that. Like, there's some more money to be made here, right? I love this. I love this segment for all it was worth, man. Drew McIntyre coming out, CM Punk interrupting, saying, cut that man song off. Like, seriously, I'm tired of hearing it. Cut it off. Punk says he might not be medically cleared, but he doesn't want to have a wrestling match. So, Drew, get your bitch ass in here. Drew ain't having nothing to do with CM Punk there. He said he'd love to get down there, beat Punk's arse. But the last time they were together, he stomped out his little arm. Punk wonders if he is a Scottish psychopath in a kilt or a girl in a skirt. And Drew comes right back out there and he goes, I mean, this was quick-witted like a mofo. He goes, you better be careful there, pal. That's how you get canceled. Right? So he's kind of letting them know, hey, times have changed there. You kind of got to take it easy there. That was a nice little line. I love that. Drew talks about how him getting this title shot with Seth Rollins, this is divine intervention stepping in here, calling it ironic that although CM Punk is straight edge, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't do alcohol, he's always in rehab. I howled with laughter after that. That was good stuff. I love that. I mean, there were so many nuggets of just, that was gold. That was brilliant. I love this. Punk ultimately going, man, he actually says it to the mic, man, boo this man. Like, no, man. He's getting some good stuff that's in here. This is some really, really good stuff that's in here. But the part that I love the most, I jotted all this down. The part that I love the most about this was when CM Punk goes, look, you want to just go ahead and attack me? I'll give it to you right here and now. And he actually lays on his back and he's like, yeah, come on. It's like, it's right here. Like, go for it. It's like Drew's not even going for that. Punk wants the attack, but Drew says he's from Chicago. So Punk is from Chicago. So he's like, yeah, dude, you probably got a weapon or whatever. So Drew goes on ahead and he's cross-legged and says he wants Punk to have a front row seat because Drew is the chosen one. This was the line of the night. If there was one, this was the line of the night. Because Drew set himself up, and I could see him break character when CM Punk was on that ass. Because CM Punk goes promptly, chosen by who? Who? What was his name? What man of good virtue did this? I dare you. And Drew is just cracking up, and he's kind of like, Drew just looks like he has this look on his face like, oh, fuck. Because he know he freaking backed himself into a corner. Dude, I can't wait to see how Matthew and crew hook that up on Botchamania, because that is going to be freaking golden, let me tell you. But I howled with delight looking at that. That was some good stuff right there. Seth Rollins coming now. This is the point where I'm hitting my head on the goalpost, because I'm like, nah, man, just leave it with Drew and Punk. Like, we're really, really good here. We really don't need Seth Rollins out here and everything. So basically, Rollins is out there. Okay, you guys are talking about all this stuff that you're going to be doing and all that, and yet when it counts the most, me, the World Heavyweight Champion, that gets to decide it all, you guys are like not even including me. Like, you can't do any of this stuff without me and my input. And so ultimately, Seth Rollins polls the Chicago crowd, says, hey, would you like to see CM Punk commentate my match with Drew, with Drew and myself? Don't ask the Chicago crowd, because that's a smart crowd. Don't ask them what they want, because the next thing you know, the crowd starts chanting referee. And Punk is just, all of them are just cracking up, because they're like, okay, this is backfiring like a mofo. You got Seth Rollins going, well, not for nothing, guys, but he's got a bad arm. His good arm, which is his referee arm, that's what's injured. And immediately you see CM Punk drop to his knee, and he's counting with the left hand, and you're going, okay, so he can referee, right? And then CM Punk calls both of them dick, saying that he doesn't know how he can be objectively fair, to be honest, right? You got Drew McIntyre going, PG, brother. I loved it. This was great. I could have watched these guys. There was just something that was edgy, yet unhinged, uncharted territory, downright freaking fun. Just all these guys in this ring together. This was lightning in a bottle, man. Like, you either got it or you don't. And I'm just picturing the amount of up and coming wrestlers, aspiring wrestlers, maybe even some of the men and women in the back of that Raw locker room tonight that might have been in front of whatever monitor they could find, watching these guys just go out there and have freaking fun, because they're showing you how you string it all together perfectly. They're showing you how you do it right, how you do it justice, how you keep it on point, entertaining and all that, right? This was good. This was good. And it really did not have any profanity. Barely any profanity in what a lot of this stuff between these guys was being said and everything. Loved it. Seth asks Punk, you want to know what I think? Punk says nope. I love this. Seth says nothing. And Seth tells him straight up, the truth is, I don't think about you. You haven't crossed my mind at all since the last time we were in the ring together. Dude, you are a non-factor. And then Punk talks about how everyone needs him, but Punk needs Seth in order to have a moment at Mania. If Punk does commentary, it'll be about as close to a title shot that he'll ever get again. We'll see on Punk. He can do whatever he wants at Mania, but he needs to stay out of Seth's way. So at that point, Seth Rollins decides, okay, you know what? Or correction, CM Punk. He goes, okay, you know what? It's been decided. So this is how it's going to go down. And I actually jotted this down. There's so many good golden nuggets of stuff from CM Punk. I love this. Well, Punk says, okay, I'm going to put on some cans and sit next to my buddy Michael Cole, the Coal Miners, Pat McAfee, do a little commentary at WrestleMania. I guarantee you I will do something. He looks over to Drew McIntyre and he says that you, the lifts in your boots, the shoe polish in your beard, your skirt, all the pyro in the world, and that stupid sword you come out to the ring with. And he looks over at Seth Rollins. Your bell bottoms, your championship, your wife. I got a nice pop from the crowd. My 10-year absence from this company could never do is make you both interesting. And he rolls the hell out. I howled. This was so damn good. Drew McIntyre trying to get the last word. But then he gets super kicked by Seth Rollins as Rollins and Punk are mean mugging each other. This is great. This went in so many delicious, delightful directions. And the best part about this is CM Punk has these great feuds waiting for him whenever he returns, including The Rock. If they ever want to maybe go down, I would love to see a little bit of revisionist history there. I would love to see CM Punk, The Rock. Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. I would love to see that. Let's do it. There's some money to be made, man. Seriously, some money to be made. Great stuff. From there, we go down a little bit of a Debbie Downer, because all that was pretty much in the first hour 15. And then sadly, if I remember right, I think no, you know what? The very first match that we had on Raw tonight, which was actually damn good, Ricochet taking on JD McDonough. I love that for what it was worth. That was 15 minutes of pure freaking delight. It was an amazing opening contest. Great story between these guys. I mean, Ricochet particularly, the man defying gravity. I'm telling you, give him that as a new slogan. The man that defies gravity, because this man was just doing some insane stuff there with JD and everything. Good golly, Miss Molly. This was good. This was good stuff. I loved it. The women's match was the second match. After that hour, 15 minutes of goodness, Candice LeRae, Ivy Now. That's all I got to say about that one. DIY, meanwhile, taking on the New Day. This ended in a no contest. Is what it is. It was only like a handful of minutes it was on. So really, we were on such a high, and now the quality is just, wait a minute. What's going on here? What happened? Andrade taking on Giovanni Vinci. I think the commercial break that was put into this match, bad timing, because the total match itself probably ran about 6 minutes. So when you just go on ahead and you slide in a commercial break, like, come on, dude. And it's not even a picture-in-picture break. It's a full commercial break. Like, yeah, that doesn't really help. Now, the little bit that we were able to see, I mean, Andrade looked pretty good. I mean, he pretty much, right? But nothing on the level of what he was doing in AEW, match quality-wise. I mean, this was, I got to be honest, I've seen better Andrade matches than what I was given tonight. Being totally honest with you guys. There was a Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch talking segment. By the way, I don't know how many of you guys are going to be taking advantage, but Becky Lynch does have a new book that is going to be out tomorrow, and she's going to be doing a mini tour. I know she's at some point in the next couple of weeks going to be out here in Washington, D.C. Will I pick up a book? Will I go to a Becky Lynch book signing? It's kind of one of those deals where my wife even asked me, she's like, you don't really mess with Becky Lynch like that, do you? I said, no, not really, no. She's like, but I bet if it was Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley, you'd go. I go, oh yeah, hands down, right? Sorry, Becky Lynch fans, but like, that's just where I'm at. It's like that. Those are my priorities right now. But anyway, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, this segment was just, Rhea held it down. She represented very well, hit it out of the park as usual. Even appreciated the fact that she took the time out to bring up her Peach video. that went viral over the weekend. Actually, her two Peach videos that went viral from over the weekend. But the main one everybody remembers is the Nia Jax one and everything. And Nia Jax just like, hey, all right now. But Becky Lynch, I hate to talk negative about Becky Lynch. I do. Literally, I do. Those that's been checking out my show for a long time, I'm usually pretty neutral when it comes to Becky Lynch, as opposed to some of my colleagues in the podcasting world. But even I have to admit, this promo that exchange that went down tonight between Ripley and Becky just seemed completely out of her element. She seemed completely out of the zone in this one. This just came off totally outclassed, outmatched, outgunned in every shape and form. You know, I'm really having a hard time believing that Becky Lynch is going to pose any type of a threat to the championship reign of Rhea Ripley. And I get what WWE was trying to do tonight with the promo exchange, where they're having Becky Lynch come at Rhea and say, you know, hey, what's been the most difficult part about being a new mother and all of that is the fact that, I had to do all of this, after my dad passed. My dad, wasn't around to see his granddaughter, enter the world and all that. Like, I get what WWE was trying to do as far as help her character connect from an emotional standpoint with the fans, but it's like, you're going to need a lot more than that if you're going to really try to dethrone Rhea Ripley, right? I mean, and I'm not even talking about size. I know a lot of people are going, the size of Becky is it's a total mismatch. It's not believable. And to that I say, well, look at those times where Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar, right? We have seen those classic David and Goliath matches where some stuff has gone down, and under the right type of booking, under the right type of good writing, we have seen some really great stuff going on. Now, I mentioned what I mentioned. Don't dare think that, so Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, they are not the Brock Lesnar and the Rey. No, they are not that at all. But this totally feels like a mismatch on so many levels. And I'm not even talking about size. Size is the very last thing that is on my list. It really is. You know what this feels like? You know what this feels like to me? And I've said it time and time again, and I'm going to say it again. What should have been the WrestleMania main event, it should have been Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. They danced around each other last year in 2023 when they both were holding on to their respective women's championships. And WWE gave us this notion that, okay, eventually we're going to see these two girls lock up with one another. So this should be pretty badass. And for whatever respected reason, they put their foot off the pedal. And if that was going to happen, it went ice cold. It went in a totally different direction. Bianca Belair should have won the right to main event WrestleMania this year. It should be her and Rhea going after one another. That comes off more believable. You check off so many damn boxes. Creatively, I just feel that would have been more fun. Now, I think the only way that at this point, this match between Rhea and Becky could even be, okay, now it's going to be interesting. Maybe you turn it into a street fight. I'm not going to say a cage match, because like that, this is going to be like their first official time locking it up, right? So I'm not going to say a steel cage match, but maybe at this point what they need is a a street fight. That way you go, okay, so now we don't have to worry about things from a wrestling standpoint because weapons, like anything goes in a street fight. So if you don't go in that direction and you're just going with a straight up wrestling, like as it stands right now, it's just not believable that Becky is going to come out as the new women's champion. Right now, as it stands, realistically, ask yourselves, be honest with yourselves, and you can comment in the chat. Do you believe, honestly, that Rhea Ripley is going to lose to Becky at WrestleMania? Yeah. It was something is off. I don't know what it is, but something is off with Becky. And I'm not even talking about her size, but just something with the Becky Lynch character. Yes, she has put on some good matches here and there as of late, but there's just something that is off. I wish I could put my finger on it, but it's definitely not the same Becky from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It's not the same Becky. Something is sincerely missing. Something is lacking. Meanwhile, going along, Sami Zayn having a match with Bronson Reed. Bronson picking up the win there. Didn't see that one coming. Continuing to tell the narrative there of, every time I see this stuff that's going on with Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, I'm just always thinking about Rocky IV. And remember when Adrian was walking with Rocky and she's like, oh, actually, you know what? Hang on. No, I'm remembering it right, but I'm actually more so thinking about Rocky III when Adrian was walking with Rocky on the beach. Tell me what's wrong. I can't beat him, right? I don't think I can beat him. I'm almost kind of reminded of that when I'm looking at Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. And then I'm thinking about Rocky IV and Adrian's like, you can't beat him, right? That's like the first time in Rocky history. She's like, you can't beat them. No, right? She didn't say that with Clubber Lang, but she sure as hell said that when it came to freaking Drago. She's like, you can't beat him, right? I love this stuff that's going on with that whole dynamic and everything. What else? Backstage segment, Sami Zayn tossing crap around. Chad Gable comes in there and tries to calm him down, but Sami is pretty pissed that he let Gunther get into his head again. Keeps wondering how does he continue to let this happen. Gable tells him that's how he operates. He plants that seed of doubt, and once he plants that seed of doubt, like that's pretty much it, right? But he tries to hype up Sami at the same time, saying, look, Sami, you're definitely one of the best, but when it comes to Gunther, it's all about mental, and he's going to beat you down. As a result, basically a repeat from what was rehashed from last week. Jey Uso taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. Jey picking up the win. Nice main event match. Decent main event match. Decent. You know what? It feels a little overbooked, though. I got it. No, I won't say it was overbooked because we had appearances from Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and then Drew McIntyre was in there. I'm like, okay, so where's CM Punk? And I'm just picturing CM Punk watching on the monitor, eating a box of Mindy's muffins, right? Like, that would have been a nice touch, but no. Isn't that funny, by the way? CM Punk is able to work with, like, all of these people. Like, I just dance around that thought. I don't think you guys will be able to expand what I was possibly getting ready to say there. But anyway, overbooked for my personal taste. Really wasn't needed, but a fun main event match there. And we pretty much already told you guys about the beatdown that ultimately happened with Cody Rhodes and all of that stuff. Pretty solid episode. Definitely the way the entire show felt, it definitely got you hyped and pumped for WrestleMania season. No doubt about that. But for me, the promo of the night, Punk, Drew, Rollins. Enough said. I can't wait to see how that particular segment does on social media in its entirety. that should be, if whoever is running the WWE social media channels, like, you got to upload that joint in its entirety, because I'm curious to see the feedback, right? The comments and all that. But I'm just curious as far as the viewership goes and the engagements. I'm curious to see how that's going to go. Hey, we asked you guys, what did you think about tonight's Monday Night Raw? I tell you what, let's go to X, formerly known as Twitter. Let's go there first and let's see what you guys had to say. All right, let's see where you guys are. A few more votes had came in too. All right, so I'm seeing a tie at 4%. I went with stars this week. I decided to switch it up. I went with stars this week. So we got it. Highest is 4 stars. Then we go 3, 2, 1. So we got a tie at 4% for 1 star and 2 stars. Nobody went with 3 stars. 91% of the votes coming in gave it 4 stars. Nice. Appreciate you guys that had cast your vote, by the way. Let's see what you guys had to say over on the communities tab via the RCWR show. Over there, because I know some people are like, what about 5 stars? Like, right, go the Melter route. Come on, Melter Lee. You got a 5-star option on that one. So it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right now, early votes I see on the YouTube channel, 5 stars, 100% of the votes. So now that you've heard that, feel free to vote, right? Cast your vote, let your voice be heard and everything. Appreciate everybody that had cast their vote. But definitely when it's all said and done, great edition, right? Great edition of Monday Night Raw. And we got a few more shows to go. That's the beautiful part. We got a few more shows to go before WrestleMania. How y'all weekend been? I hope it was fantastic. I hope by now you were able to get your Disney Plus fix on and you were able to check out X-Men 97. Did you hear the latest news? Over 4 million people have checked out X-Men 97, the 2-episode premiere, and it continues to maintain 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It continues to be critically acclaimed, praised through so many media outlets. Nobody's saying anything bad about the X-Men 97 show. So hopefully you were able to spend the weekend whether by yourself or with your kid or kids or whoever, and you were able to check it out. Some really good stuff that had went down, man. My weekend was pretty good. I was relaxing mostly, taking it easy. I had the house to myself as the wifey was away at a convention. So it was just me along with my 3 dogs, my 3 furry little daughters. And we were all just taking it easy and all that. And it was nice. You know, at one point I had ordered myself a pizza. I was ordering some interesting stuff from Grubhub. I ordered a pizza, and then next day I felt like something from Noodles and Company. So I had got that. There was some new dish I had tried. It was new for me. I don't know if you guys had ever tried it. Again, it's from Noodles and Company. I want to give the dish a shout out because I really, really enjoyed it. So if you like somewhat of a sweet soy sauce type of meal and you like steak meat, right? I got the perfect thing that I would recommend you guys try. It's a Japanese pan noodles with marinated steak. I loved it. This was really, really good. If you've never tried that before from Noodles and Company, try it. Really, really good. You'll thank me later. And then I also tried their Korean barbecue meatballs. That's something else that I recommend. For those of you that have a sensitivity level to spice, you don't have to worry about spice when it comes to these dishes. No spice at all that you're dealing with. I even had the wifey try some when she came back because she got home late. Yeah, it was late Sunday night when I saw her. And she pretty much at that point had to, you know, grab a quick bite and then jump in bed because she had work in a few hours, but she even liked it. So I asked her, I said, are you tasting any spice? She was like, no spice at all. I was like, this is really good. Like, yeah, it's like nice change of pace, right? She's like, yeah, really good steak meat. I'm like, yeah, it's very, very good. So try that. You'll thank me later. I promise you. And that was it. Just relax, taking it easy. Caught up on some stuff on the DVR. I saw a decent amount of the college basketball games that was on over the weekend. I'm kind of like most people, like either you fill out the bracket or, hey, just so I know kind of what's going on here with this thing called March Madness, let me just see what's up and everything. So some pretty good competitive games that they had over the weekend and all that. No doubt. Some really good games that they had on. All right. So again, hopefully the weekend was good for you. I know it was really cold over the weekend too. Shout out to some of my friends and colleagues that live a bit on the East Coast, Midwest side, because they dealt with snow. Matter of fact, I got to check in with him, find out if his power has been restored. But I know John Draper had went, I believe, a full day without power in his home. So that kind of, it's amazing when you really stop and think about it, isn't it? Like how much we rely on electronic stuff, because the minute that you are without power, you don't have that power source. Now all of a sudden it's like, we're struggling. It's amazing, man. And it even makes you appreciate when you do have a backup generator. You got to look into those backup generators. I tell you what, man, you got to look up into those backup generators. Couple of little headline tidbits that we can get into before we get ready to dip out here. I see that Goldberg did a recent interview where he took shots at Asuka and her streak, right? Saying, and I quote, well, a girl beat my winning streak. Asuka is her name, some Japanese girl, and they touted her as being the one to have the longest winning streak. And it just so happens that culminated when I got there. And then it just so happened that every single wrestler uses the spear in their moves, right? Ironic that happened when I got there. So that's how they do it. And see, I couldn't be the person interviewing Bill Goldberg, because in regards to everybody doing the spear, for the record, I would have jumped out there and I would have said, you are right, Goldberg, about everybody using the spear. It's not just in WWE, though, whether it's AEW or it's, MLW or it's, I'm drawing a blank, NWA, TNA, like the spear is being spammed big time, no different than the DDT. I remember a time period back in the day when it used to come to the DDT by Jake the Snake Roberts. Nobody was getting up from that. That was it. It's over. I remember a time when Shawn Michaels used to do the super kick. Oh, yeah, ain't nobody getting up from that. Now everybody is freaking doing the damn super kick and all that. But I definitely would have pointed all of those things out to Goldberg, kind of clean that up a little bit and give him an opportunity to expand on his comment further, basically saying, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I mean. Give him that opportunity to, right? You feel where I'm coming from. And then in regards to his streak ending, well, first of all, well, not his streak ending, but when he had the streak, number one, your streak ended in WCW. Not for nothing, but when you came into the WWE, you had a little thing that was going on, but it wasn't no streak. It definitely was not a streak. And then I also would have asked him, well, Goldberg, have you seen an Asuka match? Have you seen any of Asuka's matches, particularly before she came to the WWE, to understand why she likely was even given a streak to begin with here? I mean, And I bet you his answer would have been, no, I've never seen any of her matches. But see, you'll never really know because the person that had conducted the interview never asked these questions. That's why I'm not giving the person any praise. I'm very hard when it comes to being a stickler for detail. You know, I know good interviews when I hear them. I know bad interviews when I hear them. And I just felt that this was a bad interview because, you know, the whole point of being a really good interviewer is not to just let your guests just spill out any old verbiage, but to also have a conversation with them. It's not about being combative. It's not about disliking what they have to say. You know, but at the same time, you know, you also, okay, this person is saying this. It's no different than if Aaron Rodgers was to go on the Pat McAfee show, you know, and he's basically saying, you know, Listerine is being put in the COVID vaccination joints. That's what's being injected into people, right? You're okay. You're not just going to be like, oh, wow, really? You don't say. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. You're going to push back on that. You're going to push back on that. And the fact that this guy did not even have the audacity to, you know, or the courage, have some conviction. Well, have you ever seen an Asuka match? Have you seen some of her stuff when she was wrestling in Japan? To understand potentially why. And I understand why WWE did what they did with Asuka. She built a very strong name for herself overseas, a reputable name. I remember when she was wrestling as Kana, I was singing her freaking praises way back when. And so for Triple H to ultimately be able to get a hold of her and bring her to the WWE, and they had her on such a magnificent run down there in NXT back when it was kind of still in its infancy stages there, right? Like, no, this was just one of those Goldberg, you're out of your element here. You're completely out of your realm here in this one. When nobody thinking about taking away your winning streak, when nobody thinking about you when they were doing what they were doing with Asuka, when nobody thinking about that. And that just totally comes off as a blatant slap in the face. So what? Nobody can ever have a streak? Is that what we're saying? Nobody can ever have a streak that comes and furthermore, and Bill Goldberg has even said this himself in numerous interviews, and it's been well documented in other little documentary series and all that, hey, 1 week you hear the Goldberg streak is at 35, and then by the time you get into, you know, the very next week, 7 days later, all of a sudden that 35, hopefully I said 35, but you see where I'm going, that they be playing around with the numbers like a mofo. You know, last Monday it was 35 and now it's freaking 54, and you're going, well, wait a minute, you guys aren't even doing house shows. Who the hell did he beat between now and, like, what the hell's going on here, right? And they just kept, right? It's one of those, okay, so what's the actual number? What is the actual Goldberg streak of a number? This just made me shake my head and just go, damn, dude, I lost even a little bit more respect for you. He's just coming off, honestly, Bill Goldberg is coming off as a bitter that doesn't like the fact that he didn't get his promises from Vince McMahon, which we documented several weeks ago when we were talking about Bill Goldberg and everything. He's just being bitter because Vince McMahon wasn't, unfortunately, able to come through on his word because he has his hands tied up at the moment. Ooh, there's a bad thought right there. But you get the point that I'm making, right? So unfortunately, yeah, it's not happening. And anybody that is, you know, a good interviewer, okay, obviously you had the issues that you were having there with WWE and Vince McMahon not able to make his promises and everything. But with Triple H now at the helm, have you tried talking to him and seeing about making things potentially right, giving you that opportunity for that one final match before you ride off into the sunset, right? Every time I see this guy doing it, nobody is asking that damn question. Come on, man. Seriously, it's very nerve-wracking. It's very frustrating. Anyway, Ted DiBiase Jr., son of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Not sure if you guys are aware of this, but apparently he is receiving a new trial date in regards to a fraud case, just to kind of get you guys caught up to speed there, jog your memory and all. Remember, he's been charged with multiple felonies linked to welfare fraud. A little scandal going down in Mississippi. He's being alleged to have misused millions of dollars meant for families in need. So yeah, if you guys are thinking about what had happened there allegedly with Brett Favre, Minnesota and all of that a couple of years back, yeah, this is like on that realm. All this is some, yeah, right? This is some up. Okay, right? This is like one of those type of deals. So, reportedly obtaining funds through fraudulent means from various assistance programs. So, yeah, the FBI, HHS, OIG, USDA, IRS, they're all conducting an investigation into the matter. Charges against DiBiase Jr. include conspiracy to commit wire fraud and theft related to federal programs, wire fraud, theft. This is really, really bad. Money laundering. If convicted, obviously it's going to be some significant prison time and all that. So it looks like the new trial date is for January 7th, 2025. So, and remember, this was after the Mississippi Southern District Court Judge Carlton W. Reeves recused himself from the trial. So I actually have a couple of lawyer friends. I am going to reach out to them and ask them, yo, have you ever heard of a trial being pushed back? You're getting a new date, basically a year in advance. Like, why is something like this happening, with it being still early in the year? Like, we're getting ready to wrap up the third month of March, getting ready to go into April, but you're telling me there was no way. So I'm going to reach out to my lawyer friends and see if they can shed a little bit more light on this one. And hopefully I'll have a little bit more information that I can share with you guys on the next show, which at this point, I think we're going to come on Thursday night. I think Thursday night, maybe 10 o'clock is when we're going to come on. So be on the lookout for that. But very weird to hear that. I got to tell you, very weird to hear that, because you're just going, what the hell? Like, the hell is that sound? Huh. I heard the weirdest. Huh. I'm hearing a really bad sound. I am concerned. I don't know if my wife is crying or... Hang on, guys. The screen's going to go black real quick. I think this is urgent. Hang on. All right, we're good. Goddamn alley cat. Goddamn alley cat is screaming. I go into the bedroom like, I know my wife just went to sleep. Like, what the hell? And she's knocked out. I see my other dogs. They're just chilling. I heard the alley cat. We have this alley cat. I can't stand the freaking cat, man. We have this alley cat that'll come by, especially on the coldest nights, and it'll just, right? But when I have these headphones on, everything sounds more amplified, and it was sounding more like a cry for help. It didn't sound like a cat cry. But when I went into the other room there, I was actually able to hear it really good that time. And it was like, it's the goddamn alley cat. Goddamn alley cat. Ridiculous. Anyway, but yeah, what was I saying? We were talking about the Ted DiBiase Jr. stuff. Yeah. So we pretty much were done with that. Appreciate everybody that had sent best wishes, thoughts, prayers, and all that in regards to my stepdad. He's doing a lot better. I actually shared a photo from earlier today because I went and saw him at the rehab facility where he's staying at, because they are trying to help him regain strength and muscle, particularly in his legs. And it was so funny because he's bugging my wife last night. He's like, "Oh, could you pick up some Diet Dr. Pepper and some Cheetos, and I need my wallet because I gotta pay a couple of bills come Wednesday." So I say to her, I'm like, "Hun, there's no way you can do that. This is like Sunday night going into Monday. Like, hun, there's no way you can do that. You got to get up like butt early for work. Like, I got the free time. Let me go ahead. I'll pick up the stuff and I'll drop it off and all that." She's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's no problem. Besides, I've been meaning to, check up on him myself and everything. I actually was supposed to stop by and see him over the weekend, see how he was doing and everything. So, but it had rained out here at one point. So I said, yeah, I'll go out there. So I go see him and everything. And, I told him, I said, "Look, you got to have this stuff in moderation. This is part of the reason why you're in this bed right now. It's like, because all you keep eating this and drinking is this crap over here." And I'm not even there for 10 minutes. And a nurse comes in and he's like, "Oh, hey, this is my son-in-law. Yeah, he's married to my daughter." I'm like, "Hello." And she's like, "Hi." And she's like, "Why are you eating that crap? I have your lunch right here." It was the biggest freaking spread of lunch that I've ever seen, man. I mean, he had spaghetti and meatballs. It was enough for 2 people, maybe even 3 people. And he's eating all this, right? He's got salad, nice big hearty salad. I mean, he's got the whole 9 yards. I'm like, okay, yeah, this man's eating good. I'm texting my wife as I'm seeing all of this. I'm like, this guy is eating so damn good. He does not need this crap that we're giving him. Why are we giving him this crap? Remind me why we're giving him this crap? Because this is the same crap that's basically put him here in the first place. Why are we giving him this crap? It was funny. It was funny. Yeah, we talked though. Like, my plan was to hang out with him for about 90 minutes, 2 hours. But I made it to about an hour because he was just starting to get nasty with his food. That Jay said, "A fork. I'm going to use my hand." And he just starts eating his spaghetti and meatballs with his hand. And I say to him, "Don't you have a fork? Didn't they give you a fork?" And he goes, "Yeah, but I can pick up so much more with my hands. Besides, it's fun." I'm like, okay. And I'm just going, whatever, dude. But no, like, I'm having this heart-to-heart talk with him, because now we found out he has diabetes. And, as somebody that, does deal with diabetes. I was diagnosed with diabetes some years back. I'm telling him, "Look, Pops, like, take it from me. Like, you got to get ahead of this now. You got to be on top of it now because, this could lead into other health complications." And I'm breaking it down for him and everything, and not reading him the riot act, but I'm breaking it down for him. And then the next thing you know, like a little bit after that, "Yeah, make sure you tell Tams, bring some more Dr. Diet Pepper and Cheetos. Look, in regards to the Cheetos," and he's like, it's not Cheetos Puffs. It's Cheetos Crunchy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of here on that note. I'm like, and I told Tabs everything that had happened. And she was like, I'll talk to him. I'm like, yeah, like, cause he can eat all that crap that he wants once he gets out, for all we care. Is like, but right now, you know, he needs to focus on getting his strength, getting his muscles back, right? Like, challenge himself and everything. Cause he told us, he was like, apparently it's free. This rehab facility where he's staying at, it's free for the first 20 days. And then after that, any more time afterwards, it's like over $200 and something a day. So that adds up really, really, really freaking quick. And, you know, she told him, but I told him today, I said, look, do what you got to do. Learn what you need to learn. Once you feel that you are at 100% and you feel like, okay, I'm good. Because I told him, I said, your goal needs to be physically better before that 20th day hits. That way you can do all the exercises that they're teaching you up here. You can do all that at home and everything. And he was like, yeah. And I rolled out after that because it was just kind of like, he wasn't really talking. Anyway, he was mostly in his phone. And plus, you know, my feelings was hurt, man. It was like, I'm telling him all this stuff about what he needs to do with his health. And he's like, yeah, if you can, you know, tell my daughter to bring me some more soda and chips. That you're like, yeah. It reminded me too much of my grandpa. I loved my grandpa. I had one of the coolest grandpas. But he dealt with diabetes. And man, I remember he had a really bad spell at the house. Long story short, we ended up taking him to the hospital. They did the tests and all that. And they were like, yeah, his diabetes is getting worse. You know, he can't keep having the ice cream, the pies, the sodas on a daily basis. Like, he's like, give him good, healthy food options. You know, not saying he's got to eat like a rabbit, but, you know, he can eat good while at the same time eating the right types of food at the same time, you know, while managing the diabetes. And see, what we know now about diabetes compared to way back then, there's a big difference because we're talking about a time period there in the early 90s, right? And so, yeah, it was sad watching my grandpa go through what he went through because for the first little bit after he came out of the hospital, he was on the right path. My mom's was hooking up the right meals for him, all that good stuff. But then eventually he decided, you know, no, I'm going to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat. My mom decided at that point, okay, you know what? I'm not going to watch you die on my watch. It was kind of like, we're moving out of here. Like, the hell with that. And yeah, as a peace offering, he actually had tried to have us. He said to us, look, if you stay, you know, I'll make sure that the house is put in y'all's name. I'll eat the right food, like, you know, just please, you know, but the damage was already done. My mom was like, nah, you know, we've already made our moves. Like, you know, we're gone. Yeah, it was really so heartbreaking about that is like 6 months after we moved out, he died. You know, because obviously his stepson, who wasn't on top of making sure that his health was right, it's just... And I think he did that as a desperate. I think he knew deep down that if he didn't somehow figure out a way to get us to stay, that his quality of life was definitely going to further decline than where it already was. At least we were trying to help steer him in the right direction. You know what I mean? Which would have bought him a couple of more years at the rate that we were going. But so I think that's why it kind of stung a little bit when I was visiting my father-in-law today, because it was kind of like, you know, you're going down. I'm like literally saying to myself, you're going down the same path as my grandpa. And it's like, okay, you're a grown-ass man. I can't really, you know, you do you, you know. And I relate this to the wife. And she's like, I hear you. She's like, I'll have a heart-to-heart talk with him. He's like, you know, a lot of this stuff I want to get off my chest, you know, so... Fingers crossed, you know, we'll see what happens with that. But he's not treating this place. That's the other thing that was bothering me too. He's not treating this place like, okay, I need to be in and out. He's not interacting with his environments, none of that stuff. He's just pretty much lounging around, eating food, sleeping until it's time for him to do his physical therapy. And, and that's pretty much it. He's not interacting with other folks. He's not participating in any of the social events that's happening there with the residents. It's just one of those, Jesus, like, quit being a damn hermit, It's weird. It's really, really weird, but it is what it is. Dro saying in the chat, Punk and Drew nailed their segment together. Indeed, they did. And for those of you that's just tuning in live right now, we dedicated practically an hour talking about Monday Night Raw. So if you're watching particularly live on YouTube right now, you can just rewind it back, hold the rewind button, and you can go all the way back to the beginning. And I showed Raw a lot of love for that first hour. We went all over the place. Good stuff. It was good Raw, though. It was definitely, without a doubt, it was a one of the most memorable Raws that I have experienced in quite some time. Some good stuff right there. So programming notes. I'll be live with you guys again Thursday night. I'm going to say Thursday night at, let's say 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live. And I'm still trying to figure out how things are going to go down for WrestleMania week. I got to actually, see my work schedules and see how that is going to play out and everything. But we should definitely be on point for our WrestleMania weekend coverage. Now, I do know one thing. Next Monday is supposed to be the premiere of that Bray Wyatt documentary. I am looking forward to watching that. They're saying that's going to premiere after WWE RAW goes off the air. I'm going to confirm that. And if it is going to go down that way, then I think it's fair to say no show maybe that week. Maybe we'll put up a poll and I'll ask you guys, hey, would you like a Monday Night Raw post show, or should we push it back to Tuesday so we can talk about the Bray Wyatt doc? I'll give you guys some options and you can vote that way. I'll have the poll be up sometime early Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon for you guys to check out. It'll be on the YouTube channel on the communities tab. So when you see it, just cast your vote and go from there. And based on the feedback, that'll help me figure out how we need to do our programming for that Monday night potentially, or maybe Tuesday night. But I'm looking forward to that Bray Wyatt documentary. I didn't even know that they even made it. I didn't even know that it was in development. Like, it just came out of left field when we saw Triple H make the announcement. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? Just boom, out of nowhere. So that should be, and I hope WWE, I know they're getting out of the DVD business and all that, but I strongly hope that that is something that they will consider making be available on DVD for fans to own. Because that right there, I know there's a lot of fans that would, love to be able to share with their friends, family, share with that next generation of wrestling fans. Hey, let me tell you about this guy, Bray Wyatt. He was something else. I'm looking forward to it. And it's going to be narrated by The Undertaker. That should be damn good. Yeah. Meantime, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR Show. You can get at me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. Appreciate you guys that's been representing, checking out the shows for on demand and on the downloads. Really, really helps. I definitely got to make sure before we roll out, we show some love to our sponsors, because without them, content like what you're checking out right now, it just wouldn't be possible. So they definitely help out with some of the show expenses, and I love the hell out of these guys. ShopTotallyT-shirt.com. Whether you have a sports team, company, or charitable event and need custom t-shirts, hats, or hoodies, ShopTotallyT-shirt.com can help. They offer great affordable prices at top-notch quality. You ain't gonna be able to find this type of quality anywhere else. They got some really good banging quality along with customer service. Check them out, shoptotallytshirt.com. We're also brought to you in part by mercsaver.com, where they have items that's 99 cents or less. They're always adding new items daily. And the best part, if you have an order with them for $15, minimum $15 or more, they'll ship it to you for free. So check them out, mercsaver.com, MERCSAVER, mercsaver.com. And last but not least, shout out to our good friends over at doback.com. If you're looking for the perfect gift for him, her, or for the kids, doback.com has you covered with unbeatable deals. Discounts up to 80% off. That's right, 80% off for discounts. Coupons up to 50% off. Cashback offers up to 20% off. And more. Get rewarded just for shopping. doback.com. Appreciate all of these great sponsors. Appreciate our friends of the show. Shout out to Julian Cannon of Digiday and the Nocturnal. Shout out to our friends over at Wrestling Soup featuring Mish Thomas and Joe Numbers. And that is going to do it, my friends. Until next go round, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. And I will see you guys next go round. Adios, y'all. Take care.
Thanks for listening. An Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive.